Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Day number 5 of the 12 days of podcasts. Let's go through who's been on so far.
We've had Cameron on. We had Cord Jefferson, one of the writers on Watchmen and Succession and The Good Place on NBC. We've also had Tinashe and Bun B. And today we have James Rico of Real Goats, who is the team that has been putting out videos with DaBaby all this year and before that, and they are killing it on every single platform that videos are shown,
that is
whether
true.
That's in Times Square or on SNL or on, I don't know, MTV doesn't still show videos, does
no.
BET?
Twitter, Jeff. Twitter is where the videos are shown now.
Twitter is where some videos are shown, but it's not like that's the only place.
YouTube.
Okay, you sound like us explaining things to mom.
YouTube and the Twitter.
Yeah, cool.
I want to make mention real quick. Beatmaker, who's been a long time and loyal supporter, he did something really nice yesterday or the day before. I've lost all track of time. He said that we've done such an epic job with not only this run of podcasts, not only our sketches, but everything in between, all 12 years of our career. And if no one else is going to say it, he wanted to say congratulations and thank you and give us our roses while we were here. And I thought that was really nice because I do think a lot of the time people might not know, honestly, how much work is put into not just a weekly podcast, but doing something that is, God, almost 300 episodes in.
I mean, that is partially on us, right? Like, I think that had we opened up the process the way that a lot of these younger YouTubers and podcasters do, where it's like, everybody's revealing their various anxieties and all the things that go into, life casting or whatever they do. Mm-hmm. And that's not us. We are guys who we work, but we like to do it in silence, as real G's do.
That's right.
And so, it's this thing where it's a delicate balance, where we are two guys who are doing a lot of work, but...
And by a lot of work, it's the booking, it's the recording, it's the hosting, it's the editing, it is the promotion, it is everything. And to throw it in, we do it from our apartment. So it does become a lot of stuff. And sometimes, by the way...
people will come over and switch my toilet roll around.
That's not where I was going with that, but that is true. Someone did come here and switch your toilet roll around.
Yeah. It rocked my whole world.
Well, apparently it rocked their whole world, too. How do you go somewhere and you're uncomfortable enough with how the toilet paper rolls, whether it's over or under, to go ahead and switch it?
Yeah, well, maybe this person was just trying to fuck with me. Like, do we ever think about that? That's like one of the weirder things that have happened on this podcast.
Well, yeah. I don't even know, pardon the pun, whether to make up or down of it, but here we are. And that has nothing to do with where we're at.
No, we have James Rico on the podcast today, and he's got a fascinating story. He's somebody who is from Kansas. I was going to say Kansas City, and I was also going to say Kansas City, Ohio, which really...
No, that's very wrong.
Yeah, he's from Kansas.
You should listen to the podcast. He's from Wichita.
He's from Wichita.
Which is the total opposite end of Kansas than Kansas City, or the opposite end of reality of Kansas City, Ohio.
Have you guys been to Kansas City, Ohio? Because they are the sponsor on today's podcast.
Here's what I liked about James Rico, and you brought this up before we even met him. He's a lot like us.
Yes.
He works hard. He does a lot of... He has a team, okay? The Real Goats are a team. He works along with his brother, one of his brothers, and someone else. And collectively, they do a lot of things. But James is somebody a lot like us who is completely devoted to being a better creative every day and doing it independently, which I think is admirable and awesome and really, at the end of the day, a lot of fun. So it was really cool to hear his story because we couldn't come from, a different set of circumstances. He's Catholic. He comes from a far corner of Kansas. He went to Kansas State and got 3 degrees, none of which he uses right now, at least outwardly.
He has 35 siblings.
He does. And he is killing it right now, along with his brother, along with the whole Real Goats team. And we salute them for everything they've done, from music videos to SNL to beyond.
Yeah, also, by the way, James, you left your wallet here.
Jeff, when do you want to get into it?
What, the wallet?
Yes, when do you want to get into it?
Right now.
Yo, what up, it's Eric, a.k.a. his boy Elroy, a.k.a. Oh Lord, Jensen made another one.
Yo, what up, it's Jeff, a.k.a. Getting Her Throat, a.k.a. Ursula from Little Mermaid.
God damn. I didn't know I was supposed to come up with the damn intro. My name is James Rico. Rico did it from Real Goats. You know what it is. We're in here representing Real Goats. Rico did it.
Yeah, it's your third favorite podcast to waste time with It's The Real. James, what's happening?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm here with you guys.
Thank you so much for making this happen. This has been long in the works.
Yeah.
We were on the West Coast, you were on the East Coast, from New York to Washington, D.C. and back. And
We were talking about 5 a.m. We were talking about 6 a.m. Finally, we're here
I
at
was
9
like,
a.m.
man, let's go ahead. I was trying to do a night one, too, because I just know we'd be up late, so.
Yo, we gave you that out, though. We were just like,
Well,
you
you-
don't have to do this.
Yeah, you wanted to do it during the SNL after party. I was like, this is insane.
Nah. I think, and you know what's funny is I didn't end up going because I went back and I just like was working on footage.
Wow.
That's what I was trying to tell you. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't go to those things and I don't go to after parties. and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, normally we don't either. We went to DJ Khaled's after party when he did SNL, and we were
Again,
just like,
we are not those guys.
yeah, we were like, this is like just out of our league. But how was the SNL experience for you?
You know, it was crazy because actually going into it, I wasn't trying to be that involved with the actual performance. And then as I thought about it, I just wanted to vlog, and they're really strict about filming.
Getting cameras into NBC.
You know, exactly. So like they were amazing when it came to allowing DaBaby to come up with his performance, because originally it was supposed to be something different. So he wanted to make sure that he did the Bop performance for Bop, and then they said he had another song, Suge. So I was like, okay, bet. When they started to do the Suge performance, they had to come up with a whole nother routine because they didn't have one. So the dancers, like Danny Lee's the choreography.
Shout out to her.
And
Yep.
then Cherry, her one of her great friends, was really the one that leads it. Danny's the one that kind of like helped inspire the Bop one and helped Cherry with it. But Cherry really took over and directed a lot of the people when it came down to it. And then, so with that relationship built with Bop, like everybody was just so in sync with each other already, the dancers that we brought back and stuff. So, I was trying to be in the backstage, but then when I was in front of the monitor watching rehearsals, I couldn't help it. I was like, the blocking's wrong. You know, I'm like looking at it. I'm like, you need to be over here. You need to film this frame. The camera's wrong. I'm like taking notes and stuff like that, and I'm giving feedback. And so it felt really good on a professional level to like go in SNL and actually have an impact in terms of spacing and stuff like that. I didn't come up with the dance routine.
Right.
It was just nice to give feedback and to see that influence the way it looked and how it came together, because we ran a couple ways he should do intro and giving feedback like that. And Baby and I have a really close relationship, so he really values the opinion that I have when I'm giving it, you know.
Everybody talks about how small a stage it is and how like amazing it is to see everyone fit different sets and like move the camera jib around and everything. What was your experience in terms of like just, you know, going there for the first time and seeing it in action?
You know, I was surprised about how small it was when I first went there. I was like, what? This is all I've been watching all these years? I'm like, damn, you know? But what's more impressive is that it is a small space, and SNL hasn't been able to like create the things they've created, and it inspired me to think, well, shit, I don't need a lot of space to do really cool things. You know what I'm saying? So it really got me thinking about my future and like what I would like to build for myself and Real Goats and Billy Dollar Baby and stuff like that. So seeing that stuff really inspired me and like seeing what I would create.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, is the small space that you've tried to work in like, I mean, you did a video on a private plane.
Mm-hmm. We did Going Baby on a private plane. That was pretty tiny. Small spaces are always frustrating for sure, because like you have to really figure out a way to make it interesting. So I hate small spaces. At the same time, they challenge you.
And also, it was better than the coach flight.
Oh, for sure. Definitely better than the coach flight, for sure. I think overall, the SNL, I was blown away, and I felt like, I think for the first time this year, I was able to step back and watch, you know, and just like think, holy shit, like I can't believe a year ago, I was like, I didn't know what I was doing like a year ago, you know, in November of 2018, I'm just like thinking about all that stuff, and it's all kind of coming back, you know, and it feels amazing to see him excel like he did and just take off. So I've been proud of him.
I think your guys' collaboration is really special, not just from a creative space, but also seeing how you execute and grow as technical artists.
Right.
Because when you talk about the Bop video and you're out there on a soundstage and it just looks 10 times beyond the videos that you've done, which were already cool.
Right.
Is that wild to be on that soundstage and to experience that in the moment?
You know, It definitely is like one of the. I've never been on Paramount ever, and that's where we shot. And I had all this. I'm really inspired by film. I wouldn't say I'm a film super buff like a lot of people, but I watch a lot of film, and I've been studying film for years. But it's not something like I could name off a bunch of random directors, a bunch of films from like 1950, 1940 shit like that you never heard of, some artsy fartsy
Nick
shit.
G.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I wouldn't even know. I'm like, who's that? I'm like, so. But because I am so in love with cinema and just watching it, being on there made me feel it. Like I really felt like we were doing something next level. And then when we were rehearsing and seeing the rehearsal in the rehearsal space, I was shooting it on an iPhone. And Danny Lee has teased some of that footage in the rehearsal, and I felt an energy that I was like, holy shit! If Baby could learn half these moves, like it's gonna be amazing. Because he's not a he don't dance.
He's not a dancer.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
shocked.
not traditionally trained.
He
went to
jigs.
Juilliard.
He does his bop. So he's one of those people that like he can figure it out, and I knew that he would. I was just like, man, if he just could get a few of these timing moments, it's gonna be beautiful. And I called him right in rehearsal. I was like, man, I know you don't like dancing, but I'm telling you, he's like, man, I don't want to focus on the dancing. I don't want to focus on the dancing. And I was like, no, you got it. I was like, I'm just telling you, just learn a little bit of it. Then once he saw it in rehearsal, he was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't at the rehearsals at the first one. He was busy shooting some other shit. I can't remember where he was. He wasn't in town. We were in LA. So because he wasn't in town, he felt bad for he wasn't there.
What was the strangest or best direction that you gave to the girl who was doing the handstand?
Oh my God, when to come in? When to come in on the thing?
You were in like do handstand better.
No, dude, she's crazy.
That was
She
so crazy.
wild.
Harder.
Yeah.
Right. No, keep moving cheeks left and right, up and down. No, she was great. She felt bad when she couldn't do it on time. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, man, you're good. Like, you're already doing a lot. You're on your hands and you're walking on fucking concrete and you're shaking your ass. So you're doing a good job, but it was just like the best advice I gave her on some like serious shit was just when to come in on the video. Besides that, I was just like, do you, and she was fucking crazy.
Are there any Easter eggs in that video in terms
like
of
a Taylor Swift sort of thing?
like casting or anybody or...
I fired the jib operator on the first take.
Wow. Wow.
He know what he did. He knows what he did.
You know what you did. Yeah. You lied to me. You lied to me. You said you were an operator. And so, no, that was one thing. I wish I could have had that in the damn shoot because I was so excited for the things I was going to get for it, but it's all good. As far as like...
Wait, did he take his jib and go home?
Bro, I told him to go home. I was just like... I went up to Spicy. I was like, tell him to go home. I was like, we don't need him here anymore.
That's why you keep Spicy around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, Spicy's going to get it. He's going to do it. He's going to get the job done. So as far as other Easter eggs, so everything was inspired off of Rocky and Austin Powers.
Rocky
1. Rocky 1. No, Rocky. Is it Rocky 2 he's running in the streets? I think it's Rocky 1.
Wow.
Rocky 1.
Wow.
And Austin Powers. Oh, also,
Austin
they
Powers,
have the same
the-
sort of...
the-
yeah.
The intros of Austin Powers and the first Austin Powers, Man of Mystery, that was like my original intention. And then like how the band came around the corner and stuff, like that feeling of like people following you. Like I wanted camaraderie. I wanted people to feel like they were a part of the song. And so even with the wardrobe, I said, I don't want you guys to look like dancers.
Yeah.
I was like, just wear like...
Clothes.
Just wear clothes you
clothes.
wear like normally. Like I don't want you to look like a dancer at all. Like don't wear dancing outfits.
Yeah.
Oh, can you please keep the Austin Powers sort of motif going and do like that whatever 18-point turn? When he's like stuck in the hallway.
Dude, we have there's gonna be a lot of really cool things we do. There's one video that didn't come out this year that I really fucking wanted to. It was crazy. No, it was. I can't even say the idea because I think we're gonna do it again.
Awesome.
That's dope, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was early on in the year, but I would say the Austin Powers thing, we actually shot on that lot. Like,
Yeah.
the real one.
yeah.
On when Spielberg is which one is that one? Goldmember.
Yeah.
Spielberg was sitting in that chair. They cut to him.
Yeah.
It's that same street. We shot on the exact same street as Austin Powers. So
Crazy.
I didn't know that until we showed up and they told us. I was like, oh my God, this is meant to be.
Yeah, fire the jib operator.
Jib operator, you can go home.
Steven Spielberg can come in.
Yeah.
Come on, Bill Spielberg, it's your time. Exactly.
When you're shooting the Bob video, does Baby get more confident in each take?
Yeah, for sure. Like once he starts seeing it, like and understanding where I'm coming from, he goes, okay, cool, let's do it again. Let's go again. But I always make a point to show him.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just like go away from the monitor. Like, what the fuck? Why wouldn't you want to see?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want them to see it?
Yeah.
That's when you're like timid and scared about showing them the product. Mm-hmm. If you don't show them it, like maybe they won't care. They won't know in post. They'll find it and they'll see an edit and they can't judge my work. But I'd rather change it on set. You know what I'm saying? So like I decided to like just with him always show him things.
Yeah.
And on that set, he just kept getting more in tune with the dancers. And I don't know if you guys got to see the teaser band on his Instagram. He teased the alternate ending. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Mm-mm. Oh, we're gonna
Sorry.
check it out. Yeah.
No, that's all good.
Yeah.
But the
You're
alternate,
so mad.
I'm disappointed in you.
Like,
I respect you guys so much up to this point. No, I'm joking. No, there's a cool little alternate ending where he comes out and there's a band, like a full band behind him.
Oh.
And we kept going back and forth on whether or not we need to release the full version. I think that we will.
You worked with the Jabberwockies.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. What was that like? Like, what were they
They're
like
fucking amazing. They're
before
really
they
cool.
put on the masks?
It was crazy because we went up to them because like, hey, they had their own space that we gave them so they could just be by themselves. Just so like we kept their identity and stuff like that closed off for them because they kind of wanted, because they don't know everybody. So it's like they want to have their own space. I respect that. And so when we met them, they were super genuine, nice guys. They all shook our hands. And they said they were fans of us and DaBaby. So to hear them say that they're fans of ours was wild. Even every time someone that I respected says that, it's like, oh shit, all right. I don't know what to say. It's kind of like it's a good feeling, but it doesn't get to my head.
Yeah.
But Jabberwockies overall were just like fucking amazing people. They did way more than what we expected as far as like their involvement. We thought they would just come out and do some freestyle stuff, but we don't have it's not out yet. They did a whole routine for the video. So
Wait, the whole thing?
The whole thing. They made a whole routine for it.
So might this be the part 2?
I think it's just going to be an individual clip.
Okay.
Because it's the whole like there's no other angles. There's just the one angle.
Yeah.
And so
Wait, what if you do a feature film that comes off of the video?
That'd be big.
that would be sick.
That'd be big.
Hey, you know what? One day it's going to happen. But overall, they were amazing people. I fuck with their whole camp, and they came out to SNL, like just man, that's crazy. That was the first time they ever been on that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
I was talking to Aneez Ansari, who's Aziz's brother, and he was saying how the 2 most important cultural moments that the Jabberwockies have done have been Master of None and your guys' shit. Yeah,
that's crazy. No, it's wild. They were really happy with how it came out. Like they said people are blowing them up and like.
Do Jabberwockies show emotion?
Not with their mask on.
Yeah.
Not with their mask on. You can't tell what they're doing underneath there. It's so funny because it's like they're so good. Like it's like once they put that uniform on, they're just they're Superman.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to see them in action. And when you're watching them move, you're like, how the fuck did they do that? Like they're just good. They're fucking amazing.
Do you refer to them like as one unit? You're just like, okay, Jabberwockies.
And Jabberwockies. No, seriously, that's what we do. Jabberwockies, come in. Like, that's what we said. And Jabberwockies. And what was cool is like we tried to figure out cool ways to bring them in. They came in from the side, but didn't really feel that good. But then when they came to that center
on SNL.
No, in the video, and overall, everything.
Yeah.
Even SNL, we tried because they were going to come from the sides, but it just didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
So they had that back door. They're like, come through that back door.
Yeah.
And it just kept to the video.
How hard is it to hold on to that footage and not put it out and not tell anyone what you're doing and wait for it to actually drop at the right time?
I think we've trained ourselves all year long to know that it's so much more valuable to be secretive. But then like this time, we actually released more things prior. We normally wouldn't show a lot of the BTS, but because of how cool it was and being on Paramount, I was like, dude, just let people film.
Yeah, be part of the process.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
There's 100 dancers. Like, let them have fun. They're all young.
Yeah.
We reached Spicy Rico, my brother, who's also a real GOAT, had done an amazing job casting and helping. He had a few other dancers help him cast that. video. But a lot of the dancers are coming from Instagram, which was amazing to see in terms of production. The fact that we're reaching out to individuals that it's their passion, it's their love. And so we're giving them opportunities to come out and do it. You know, we couldn't be more happier with the people that we got. And so again, going back to being on stage with Paramount, you felt the energy when we were filming it, especially that clip in general. That scene was the last scene of the day. It was take 7 or something. So
how long was that day?
It was 12 hours. It was 12 hours. We were trying to stay on time. Usually our days are 12 hours, but we were trying to stay like without going over time because there's been 15-hour days, 18-hour days and stuff like that. But, you know, I feel like once I saw it, I was like, dude, we got to just drop it as a one take. You know, my goal was to do like 3 videos for that one song. Yeah. And so you've seen like the content we've been releasing for it, and that's a lot of the strategy that, you know, I feel like we just kept putting the right energy into it. And again, going back to your comment about the technical stuff, I've been very adamant about us following filmmaking rules and stuff like that as we go along, because we work so fast, it's kind of hard to follow all the filmmaking rules, and we want to break them just to create the content.
Well, filmmaking rules like what?
In my opinion, like lighting and camera option and lenses are the most important. And shit, choreography, everything's important in film, you know, so set design, colors, like
craft services,
exactly,
right?
Craft services, crafting, making sure people are fed. So like I get really like adamant about wanting to follow those things, and sometimes he doesn't understand that, you know, but then he respects it enough and respects me enough to at least listen to me, you know? And so I really love him for that. Like the way I see it is that he's giving me opportunity to express my talent and believe in my talent. And that's something that he's always let me know, you know? So as we keep going, it's going to just keep getting better.
So who is actually in Real Goats?
There's me. I'm the founder. I started it. And then my brother.
Your actual brother?
My actual brother. His name's Spicy Rico. That's what he goes by. I am Spicy Rico. And then Gemini 1, I call him Jimmy a lot just because it's just a name I was called when I was growing up. But he doesn't like it. He hates fucking Gemini. He's like, God damn it. When other people call me, he's like, my name's not Jimmy. Like, I started this really bad fucking nickname for him. And then we got my good friend Shaq Gonzo, who grew up with me. He was actually an artist I shot for back like 7 years ago, early on. And I made a lot of music videos with him. We had fun. In the early stages, and now he's one of the administrative, like producer type people that I just brought on. So bringing my friends back in,
most definitely,
being able to like stay close with the people that I know.
Yeah,
we're brothers. We work together. What is your experience working with your brother?
Man, we fucking.
Do you want to fire him?
Man, every day we get in arguments, but you know, like, and sometimes I have to always remember that I need to say I love you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a hard thing when you're ambitious to like achieve something so great. And you have really big visions, like we want to be fucking millionaires, we want a $100 million company, like shit like that. It's like, well, how do you get there? So there's a lot of effort that has to go into it.
Yeah.
You just can't be fucking lazy. So like every day, like we live together. All 4 of us live together.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you, like us, take a step back and think like, well, if we argue, it's because we both care about it so much?
We've recently had to figure that out because of the amount of pressures that we've been having to deal with this year. You know, it's easy to bicker and to like want to point fingers, but I never want to blame somebody. I always want everybody to understand it's always us, the individual. It doesn't matter if I say, hey, you fucked up, you got to fix it. Like I can't make you fix it. Right. You know, so it is one of those things that like we understand in the end that we have a big goal, and we always have meetings like once a week. We have these long ass conversations for like 4 hours, and we're talking and
oh my God, it sounds like a podcast.
Exactly. You know, that's what we're thinking. Like, man, we talk so fucking much. God damn. But like, I think it's something that's important. You gotta let people know that what your intentions are, or they don't know. You know what I'm saying? If I never told him I love you, or if I never told him I really appreciate you, or hugged him, or things like that, he would think I didn't.
Right.
You know, I don't say it enough for sure. And it's one of those things I think the guys know that I'm just this like, I'm so focused on getting to where my end goal is because I've been working on it for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to let it go until I see what I want.
For sure.
You know?
And I think it's been really cool to like watch you big up those guys in everything you've done. You know, it's not just about you. It is about the team.
Right.
So where does the name Real Goats come from?
I think it started back in like 2015. I was in Kansas City, and I was forever trying to start a company with another friend of mine, and his name's David Kaufman. David, I'm waiting for you to come fucking work for me. Jesus fucking Christ, when are you gonna decide this?
He's a good Jewish boy.
Exactly. Too much tuna. I just thought about that. You guys know what I'm talking about? Too much tuna.
Of course. Yeah. You're on the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Do we know what too much tuna is? Yeah.
So anyways, going back to it, it started by me just wanting a mascot. I just wanted a mascot for a company. Like I just like cartoons. So I just kept forever being patient with the name. I think it took me like 2 years to think of it, and I just is in the back of the head always trying to feel like I didn't want to name it some kind of like cinematic royalty, some bullshit that's like film score thing, or I don't know, this naming things
Mick G, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
just like dumb names, like names that people like gravitate towards. And I'm from Kansas, so it's even worse.
Right.
People name their companies after themselves.
Yep.
James Rico Photography, James Rico Productions, James Rico like Filmic James, or some shit. Like it's like so I didn't want that, and I knew that I had to come up with a name that felt like it was bigger than me, and a movement in which that I wanted other people to want to be a part of it, not just me.
Yeah.
Because I had it where I was just going by Rico Did It for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think anybody wants to work for Rico Did It. Like no one gives a fuck about me. So
What if David Kaufman wants to work for
Rico Did It?
Yeah.
I would let him work for Rico Did It, but then I would hire him on the Real Goats. I'd fire from Rico Did It, and I'd hire him on the Real Goats. That's what we're gonna do.
very complicated HR department?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it worked out for Mike Will Made It. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Let's take it all the way back to the beginning. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Wichita, Kansas. Family of 9. So we had
Family
a
of 9.
That's so many.
yeah, a lot of kids.
That's so many
I'm the
siblings that
oldest
you could have
brother.
worked with.
Oh my God. No, it's the thing is we're a powerful family. Like we my parents grinded it out, but
Apparently.
we didn't have a lot of we lived really I don't know. I mean, I feel like we didn't have a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I feel like we had a house of 9 with 1, 2, 3 bedrooms or something like that. We all shared 1 bathroom, and we turned rooms that weren't supposed to be rooms into rooms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like we didn't know about anything. I had 1 pair of shoes every year, and a lot of that stuff my dad was teaching us was like values and working hard and shit like that. So I think our childhood really helped us influence how to work hard. And
Yeah,
shit
for
like
sure.
that,
I
you know?
mean, you're all fighting for attention and
Right.
all that stuff. So there's 9 of you. What's the difference between the oldest and the youngest in terms of age?
The oldest, man, I can't say that.
Okay.
The oldest sibling's gonna be mad at me, but she's my sister.
Yeah.
And she's amazing. She has single mother. She has her PhD. She just got it. So
Wow.
like, we all worked. We all paid for our own shit, our own college. Like
When you're growing up in Wichita, what is your creative outlet? What are you like as a kid? What are you
Shit.
up to in Wichita?
I was a little dickhead when I was a kid. I had an anger problem. I like to play sports when I was growing up. My dad, I played football, basketball, fucking.
Chiefs fan?
Were you a Wichita lineman?
I was not a Wichita lineman. Damn, I can't believe you know about that. That's cool. No, I never. I went to Bishop Carroll was my high school, and then from there I went to Butler County Community College. I got recruited as a fullback.
Wow.
And so I went there and I played against some amazing people. One of the DNs I went against every day ended up going. He was in the NFL, fucking playing for goddamn Patriots.
Wow.
His name's Jeremy Mincy. He was so hard to hit. He was like 270 and fucking 6'5" or some shit, and I'm like. I'm 5'9", and I'm like, at the time, I was a lot bigger. I was like 230.
Wow.
But
All fat.
all fat. I was just like, I swear to God, like I felt like I was out of shape and I couldn't breathe, but somehow that's what they wanted me to do.
But by the way, you got to be a good teammate to be a fullback.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. Oh my God, I didn't know about that because like in high school they give you the ball.
Yeah.
In college they don't give you the ball. Like no, hit that person.
Yeah.
Now hit that one over there. Now hit this really big guy that's scary.
That's 270 pounds. Yeah.
Exactly. So from there I went to K-State and then I went to journalism. And I got my journalism degree, got my psychology degree, and got my social science degree, which is not a real degree, in my opinion.
That's a lot of degrees.
Yeah. I graduated at 25.
Did you grow up a K-State fan?
I grew up knowing about Darren Sproles and stuff like that, and Bill Schneider. Like a lot of people were fans of. My dad was a KU fan.
Okay.
Tore the family apart.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, seriously. Like my sister went to KU. I hate
Man.
KU. I hated KU.
You never rock
But
chalk.
I love the people from KU. I love the people from KU. I just didn't. For some reason, like that rivalry, you automatically hate them. You know, hate's a strong word. So I
And
disliked
you
them.
use it,
I disliked them
really
a lot.
well. Yeah.
I disliked him a lot. You know, but no, yeah, we because of the whole K-State KU thing. Me and my sister, we always got along though. We just gave each other shit.
If you go to K-State and you're going to get 1 degree, that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
If you go for an extended period of time, maybe you get another degree. You went and you got 3 degrees.
Mm-hmm. It was on accident. I was a really bad student.
What?
I was just like, I would only take so many hours. I'd take like 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, but I was
Okay.
working at the same time, you know?
What were you doing?
I was doing landscape and like I quit Butler County. Go back just real quick. I quit Butler County because I was doing construction. I was like making some money. You know, I was making money and I was like, this is kind of cool. It's only like $500 a week, but I didn't know. I was like 19. you
Yeah.
know? So I was tired of playing football. I was tired of getting hurt. And then my dad, the whole way that I started to get into filming was that in high school, my dad would make our highlight films. And so I was like, I really want to be involved in that process. He was shooting on the sideline and he would get better footage than the people that they would hire at the high school. So we decided to edit it one year. I sat down, I was like 16 in front of an editing machine. And I just remember watching ESPN.
Editing machine meaning like 2 like VHS
it was
decks
like
or something?
big ass decks. Like when I went in there, it was like this fucking spaceship or something, like Spaceboard, where you had all these controls in front of you, these balls that were on the left and right that you could kind of roll around, and then you had these tape decks. You had to put the tapes in and like rewind, fast forward, cut,
Yep.
stuff like
Oh,
that.
man.
And it was painful. It was like when you did the transition of the star.
Yeah.
The star transition. They had that at the time.
Oh, the starburst. Like
so the starburst, it would open up and it would reveal like through a star, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this is badass. Like,
Yeah.
Doing,
star,
like, the
yes.
wipe.
Exactly. Transition wipe, star wipe, circle wipe, diamond wipe. I'm just like, all of them.
Coaches
please.
are going to love this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's like an Adult Swim show.
no, seriously, I didn't know what I was doing, but it was fun. And for some reason, the guy let us use his edit. He let me edit on his
That's
shit.
dope.
Because he was like, well, you guys don't got any fucking money, so I don't want to edit this shit, but you can. And I was like, he left. I was like, damn, we could have really fucked this shit up. And
Yeah,
just, like,
change the locks,
and just
squatted.
like left.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but he was really cool and let us do that. So from there, when I going back to Butler, when I quit, I was at the time when I was a redshirt freshman, I was making their highlight reel because they seen that I was doing it for fun.
Oh, making it, not like making it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't making it in football.
Yeah.
I was making it in video. I was like, yes, I feel like a boss in video.
Right.
They hate me for football.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's cool. I'll separate the two.
Yeah.
And I was getting hurt a lot by hitting fucking Mincy. He's big ass 270 pounds. I swear to God, I was getting hurt. Like my shoulders were dislocating, my
Damn.
ankles were breaking. Like they wanted to put me on scholarship for doing the videos, you know? So I was
Wow.
like, all right, cool. So I did that. They were fucking ecstatic about everything I put out, and I wanted to go to K-State to do the same thing.
In between, you gave up the football helmet for a hard hat.
Right.
What kind of construction were you doing?
Oh my God, the worst. I was doing like laying sewer line, and I was doing water line for newly residential spaces. So like it'd be an empty lot, and we have to go in and lay out like hundreds of feet, thousands of feet of fucking just water line and sewer line.
I mean, you make it sound glamorous.
Oh my God, it was amazing. Every morning I drank a fucking full pot of coffee before I went, and I had my cigarettes, and I was just like chain smoking on the way to work, and I'm just like, man, this is gonna be terrible today. It's 7 a.m., cold as fuck. Diesel fuel would be like, it would be so cold some days, the diesel fuel in the excavator would freeze and be like slushy. So it was a hard laborer's job that I learned I did not like.
Well, so yeah, but do you think about that now? You're like, if you have like a 15-hour day on a set, you're like, well, it's not as bad as
That's
laying
what I'm telling
sewer
you.
pipe.
I think about it all the time, and like the fact that I worked so many years. I worked like 7-8 years in labor. You know, so like this stuff it's easy for me. So a lot of people will be like, well, why do you work so hard? I'm like, well, fuck, I don't want to go back to doing that shit. And this is way easier than being outside in 100-degree weather and sweating your ass off, burning, getting sunburns and all sorts of shit, and like being uncomfortable and not being able to take breaks when you want to take breaks and shit like that. So
Jumping forward a bit, when you're on set somewhere and something goes wrong, like
I run, I go the other way.
no,
I go the other way.
You're not there like in case like someone can't figure it out. You can like grab a wrench and actually like fix.
I wish I was more of a handyman nowadays. I think I let the people that are we put in place fix it.
Yeah.
I respect a lot of people. I try not to do their job if we're hiring them for that job.
For sure.
Like union rules, all
Yeah,
that
Exactly.
stuff.
All that shit. Well, you know what? We're not inter-union just yet. I'm really not looking forward to that shit. I don't know.
What? You get free DVDs.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh my God, it's not worth that.
You go to school and you have this emerging film talent, right? Is there any way for you to use that on campus at K-State?
Yeah. So I joined my last year of college. I joined Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, which is a historically black fraternity, and I had a good friend that asked me to join for many years, for like 4 years, and I always turned him down because, like, dude, I'm not a frat dude. I don't give a shit about frats.
Let me just do it when I'm a senior.
Exactly. But the thing is, like,
Did you still have to rush or pledge or whatever?
See, I pledged. The difference between historically black fraternities and white fraternities is the process of going in and what we do, our initiatives and stuff like that. So a lot of what they were focused on is community service, which I learned over time. And but going in, it was a really strong brotherhood. We got. I don't know if I can say it. I don't think I could say anything.
You went through it.
I went through the pledging process, and it was like a real deal. Like, we learned about a lot of things. Like, we had rules we had to follow, but we weren't punished in a way that, hey, you got to go drink this fucking 1 liter of vodka.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't drink. We couldn't have snacks. Like, there was a lot of things that we couldn't do to develop these disciplines of, like, being on time and, like, respecting others' time and just fucking working hard. So that was the beginning process for me that, like, started shaping my mentality more than anything. Because I think the labor stuff was like, I could work hard. I'm physically strong to do anything. But because I was in that fraternity, after I went through the process, and then a whole year went by, I graduated, and I was still a part of it. I was still living in the city, Manhattan, Kansas, Little Apple. That's what they call it, I swear to God. They have Little Apple, and it has a tower that says Little Apple right up on the front. I'm not even lying. So it's like 50,000 people. But anyways, so the fraternity brothers, I brought in a line of people. They're called Neos. Those Neos were all from Kansas City, and they all liked hip-hop. So one of them was an artist, and he made a song for the fraternity, and it's called Go Mob. You could actually find it on YouTube. It's like only got like 6,000 views, but
it's about to go viral.
It's about to go viral.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's the very first video I've ever done, and it was with the T3i. I remember I had access to stuff on campus to film it, but I was like, you know what? I've been hearing about DSLR. So at the time, like 5D2 was like really popular, or 5D1 had just released a 5D2 or something like that. And
were you able to afford that easily?
Hell no. I was broke as hell. I was working construction. I mean, like, I thought I had money type shit, So, but anyways, the cameras are like $800.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of money for anybody that's just trying to get into it. And so I went to Best Buy. I had a Best Buy credit card. Yes, sir. Had $1,500 on that bitch. Yeah. And I decided to fucking swipe it. And I got a T3i with like their kit lens. And I brought that shit back. And, we shot the video, I edited it, and I was like, dude, this is amazing. Shit looks so beautiful. Like, I'd never seen like shallow depth of field, and I didn't know what it was and stuff like that. I didn't know what lenses were, and like I didn't even know about DSLRs. So
you knew filters from Instagram.
I knew. Instagram had just came out right then, so I knew if I put that filter on it, that shit gonna look good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Valencia. Shout out to Tokyo. Shout out to Cupertino. All
I think
those.
mine was X Pro 2.
Oh, that was a shit because that was the dark one.
Yeah, exactly. I was like trying to think of which. Yeah, and then they had like the filter strip one. Those are all fire. Yeah. We all thought we were fucking artists back then when it first came out.
So were you shooting handheld?
All handheld.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I mean, shit, I didn't know what the fuck handheld was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just grabbed the camera, so I just shot around, and then because of that, the community in Manhattan, Little Apple.
Yeah, I got so confused for a second.
Exactly.
I was like,
the Manhattan community of Kansas. They all knew about me, and so like the artists started hitting me up, and then I started getting into working with local artists for a long time. I had a few that I worked with. The first one's called SO All Stars, Red. He's probably gonna be surprised that I mentioned him. Red Ski.
So was this something where like they were going to do videos that were going to go on YouTube, where they were going to be like shopped to like MTV or whatever?
Hell no. It was just like we were just trying to make videos to put on YouTube for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was nothing more than that. We didn't really have a plan. Like all the artists, they were trying to figure out how to do it. So like I was along the ride with like seeing how to start to put together shit. I never really went to their shows or anything like that because I didn't know enough about that culture just yet.
You had 3 degrees that you graduated with.
Yeah.
Those were once again.
So my first one that I graduated with was social science, and I was like, this is a bullshit degree. So I went back. I didn't walk.
Yeah.
Because I was like, nah.
You strolled.
Yeah, I strolled. You know about strolling?
Yeah,
Oh,
of course,
shit.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
stopping and strolling.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. I respect it.
So you stayed on campus,
I
got
stayed
the
on
second
campus,
degree.
Second degree. So the next 2 degrees I got at the same time, which was my original one, digital journalism and psychology.
Okay, so with those 3 degrees, when you leave Kansas State, what could you get done?
Education is so funny to talk about. But no, I would say I didn't do shit with them other than use them for my self-motivation.
Okay.
You know.
And
That's
you
really like a Kanye like intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have these 3 degrees, you have a construction job. Can you call yourself a filmmaker at that point?
Hell no, I was definitely not no filmmaker.
What'd you tell your parents?
I honestly didn't even accept the filmmaker title until like 2 years ago. Because
Wow.
I was like really respectful for that title. I really respect titles, and that if you call yourself that, then you better know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
too
it's-
many people will say it too early.
It's the same thing with, it's a different thing, but it's the same thing. Like, we don't call ourselves journalists.
Right.
Because, like, we don't consider this journalism.
Right.
But, like, all these people, because.
We're conversationalists.
Yeah, because journalism has gotten so watered down,
Right.
especially in, like, this era where it's, like, facts don't seem to matter.
Right.
Then it's just, like, people call us journalists, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's not us.
If you're going to tell your parents what you do at that point, what was it?
Shit, they're just disappointed in me for a long time. My dad was always like, he saw me start making the music videos with those people in Manhattan. He's like, "Why are you doing this? Like, I don't understand." I'm like, "Dad, trust me." You know, like, and again, I'm in my mid-20s at that point, trying to tell my fucking parents like, "Yo, I got a thing that I want to do."
Yeah.
Are you
know?
still living at home?
No. I wasn't. I moved out of my house like 18, so I was like, I was ready to go. My parents were on top of me. I grew up Catholic.
Yeah. You went to a Catholic high
I went to a
school.
Catholic high
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
By the way, we don't practice Catholicism.
yeah,
either.
exactly. I appreciate
Well, I
that.
do. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
that's
really
what's
into
up.
it. Yeah, I saw the 2 popes on. I got a screener.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a filmmaker at that point, but you are making music videos.
Yeah, I'm just making music videos. I think I'm just having fun. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like researching a lot. I work for Kansas State University because funny enough, I was doing my construction job it was a landscape job one day, and it was so fucking cold, 4 a.m. shoveling snow in someone's driveway, and I'm just like, it just hit me out of nowhere. Why the fuck am I doing this? Like, I'm smarter than this. Like, I just kept doing it, and I was like, I'm not coming back tomorrow, you know. And I had been with them for like 4 years, you know, doing that, and it just hit me. I don't know what it was. I wasn't even like really focused on it. So, quit my job. I was hanging around the journalism department more, and then I ended up getting a job right out of college with them like the week that I quit my job.
Yo, but that morning when you don't go in, like, what is that
Oh
feeling
my God,
like?
it felt great. I was like, hell no, I'm sleeping in because it was snowed again, and they were blowing my phone up, and I was like, nope, and nope, and
Oh wait, so you didn't
nope,
actually
and.
quit? Like you let them find out. It was
Yeah,
like,
they let me find out. I let them find out the next day that I ain't coming in. It's
like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
And then they just kept calling me all week. I was like, dude, I ain't gonna tell them I quit. Like, I'm done.
They're like, maybe James is dead.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously. Like, I don't
I
know
remember
what.
James.
I don't. That's the thing. Like, I wasn't even thinking about what they were gonna think about. I didn't care so much that I had personal relationships with them, which was worse. You know,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I was like, I was
4
friends with them.
years,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And so like they're like, well, why are you doing this kind of thing? I was like, man, if I talk to you, I feel like you're gonna convince me because I'm a nice person to come back. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like I was gonna come back if I listened to them.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, hell no, like I can't.
So you ghosted them.
So I just ghosted them for fucking ever. And then eventually, like, we got these checks. You got your checks. You want to come get them? Like, nope. I don't want my checks. Mail them. I was like, fuck it.
But meanwhile, you're still in Manhattan, Kansas.
Exactly. I'm still living there.
So you're not in Los Angeles.
No.
You're not in New York. You're not in Atlanta. What can you get done in Manhattan, Kansas? Or did you think like, all right, this is going to be bit by bit until I make it out of here?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so I had a girlfriend at the time that I lived with, and she's now my wife. And,
Congratulations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
7 years. So at the time, I was just waiting for her to get done with her master's and stuff like that. So I just sticking it out with her as long as I could and as long as she needed me to and stuff. I didn't want to venture off too much before she figured out where she was going. So I stayed in town, worked for the university, and then they didn't give me enough stuff to do though. It was really surprising. I was really eager to like show what I could do. And so I was like always, hey, can I do this? But the director of the program, he always believed in me. I just think that he was wanting, he had people above me that he had to give those projects. And I was a fucking freshly graduated person, so they had never seen a lot of my journalistic work yet, and like just going around documenting things and making stories out of them, right? And so after they saw the music video, they were just like, oh shit. And that was about the time I was getting ready to leave, because I was, at that point, I had researched enough by the end of my 1 year of working for them that I was like, I'm gonna go be a freelancer. And those people that I was working with provided enough income for me, per month, to where I didn't need to have any other job. So one day I got a call from a rock band in Kansas City, and that was when I first got pulled into Kansas City. Their name's Black Oxygen, great friends of mine. I still know them. They live out in LA, and they've been going at it ever since I've been, And so because of that, I started traveling to Kansas City. And more people started seeing me in that realm and stuff like that.
Wait, how far is Manhattan from Kansas City?
It's like, Manhattan from Kansas City is only, I want to say 3 hours, because KU's like hour and a half, I don't remember. I think it's like 2.5 hours, something like that.
But I mean, so that is a trip. It's not like, going from like, the suburbs to, that's
right,
like the
It's not like a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
Right. It's two hours. So it depends on where you go in Kansas City. It could be 3. So, but the shit, like, at that time, my friend used to call me a homeboy because I never wanted to leave home. But that was
quite literally.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I never wanted to leave, and I was like afraid. So I always remember back of my mentality before what I'm doing now, and it was always this timidness of like not wanting to go do something and being afraid to go out there and take a chance.
That's so interesting. Because I do not get any timidity from you.
No, not anymore. That's what I'm saying. It grew out of me because it was one of those things that, like, as I saw that I could keep making it and I keep doing it, and I'm not dead.
Yeah.
I took a lot of crazy risks, and we'll get into it later. But I just think that at the time I was just so afraid of being broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you learning about yourself as a creator in that time too? Like, because clearly you're watching things and you're learning from the way that other creators create. But did you have a defining thing for yourself at that point?
Shit. I mean, I don't think, like, it's so crazy because I think I was just really listening to myself. I was watching other people's music videos, but I never was like, hey, I gotta make that. I'm not one of those people that just like know a bunch of names, because I just was so focused on myself, meaning like I learned through the dedication of my fraternity how focused you have to be to build something. And so when I was focused from my fraternity, I saw what I could do with them. So I was like, you know what? I've given them 2 years of my life. I need to do that to myself, And so that's what started it, like that internal thought of I got to be selfish.
Yeah.
And selfish in a way that it's just getting yourself to be better every day, and that's the whole point.
Hey gang, it's Jeff and Eric here from the podcast. I'm Jeff.
Oh.
That's Eric.
I'm Eric.
We've practiced this.
Yeah.
So that's good. And this is going really perfectly, as always. And you can find more great content just like this ad on ItsTheReal.com. ItsTheReal.com/shop for all of our merch. Okay, we're still doing great. Doing great here. Everything is going A-okay.
I'm Eric.
Great. Feel like you're glitching. You can also go to ItsTheReal.com/shop, find some merch from us. We got t-shirts for sale. We're sending them to all the countries, including, but not
Eric.
Including, but not limited to, Asia, Europe, Australia. Nope.
Those aren't countries.
I hate this. I hate this ad. Everything about it. All right, go to our shop. There you go. This is the ad.
So when we started doing sketches 12 years ago, it was us, it was the Canon XL2, it was Final Cut Pro, and it was our friends. Mm-hmm. We could count on our friends to star in sketches, to help light things, to help create music.
We didn't have lighting.
It was
wait a minute, we didn't have lighting.
I'm like, what?
It was us and our brother Dan, Greg, Shin, Bob, whoever, who was really, really important to you in those early days.
David. David was somebody that I went to school with. That's why I like him. I love him as a brother, and I wish that he would work with me because I know our potential. Like, I look at him like a clone of myself. And that's, everyone says, I want a clone of myself. And he's that person to me. And he, at the time going to school with him, we would always, I'd never told him I was in competition with him, and he never told me, but we could tell that we were both really talented, and we both created really good content. And we were just like, low key, you can tell, like, okay, we have a project, I'm gonna do better than you. Like, that's how I felt. Maybe he didn't, but I internally was like competitive. And so whenever he would do well, I would want to do better, just because I was like, man, I want to prove that I could do just as good as him, because he was way more advanced than I was at the time when I first met him. So he is someone to me that was an early believer in me, and that really, he helped me out, him and another friend of mine from K-State. A lot of my friends would help me on my productions as long as they could until they had to like decide to go their own path, and that was always heartbreaking to see those people leave my life. And I built up this wall of like, I don't want to be your friend because I know what it feels like to lose a friend. You know what I mean? So I just don't like that. I'd rather be professional with you. I'd rather be an associate, and this is not have those internal feelings anymore. You know what I mean? Like, cause like if once they're gone in your life, it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get down to Kansas City. Mm-hmm. What does that city mean to you?
Kansas City means a lot. I feel like, I think it's more based off of Kansas. I feel like it's a representation of like moving away, the furthest I could move away from Wichita, Kansas, and still be in fucking Kansas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're right on the edge. I was in Missouri. I was right on the edge of the Missouri-Kansas City line, because if people don't know, there is a line in between, and the Chiefs and the Royals are on the Missouri line.
But we don't treat them like that.
But they think they're from Kansas. Exactly. Yeah. They think they're from Kansas. So I was on the Kansas side of it, and anybody from Missouri will always claim the Missouri side of it. So anyways, but Kansas City was something that I started to network with small businesses and other creatives there, like some artists. I didn't work with that many artists there, but I realized that there was a bigger world than myself.
So you could shoot commercials?
I was shooting small business commercials and stuff like that, just like working with people. There was a little fitness. My first experience in viralness was from a company there called Rock 360. And it was an ab roller that could do like 360 degrees, right? And it got on a TV show. But before that, I was working with him just to create content. And so that was my first experience in social media world of actually creating it for like a fitness product and stuff like that. And he put it on Facebook. It was getting millions of views. His sales went up crazy. Whoa. And I'm just like, whoa, that's dope.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, that's congratulations. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted, And so after that, I started, I think, traveling more for, like, I heard about South by Southwest for the first time, I think, in Kansas City.
What were you expecting in South by Southwest, and how did you get down there?
I went there twice. The first time I went there was with a group, an artist I was working with, and we were just wanting to go see it. We weren't gonna go as professionals. We were gonna go as just fans.
But you didn't buy like the badge or anything. Like, you just went to the bars and all the concerts were there. Because he's a tech savvy person, there was like Twitter at the time was always giving out, hey, register and you could get free passes.
Oh, cool.
So we just did a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Just kept getting free passes to everything.
That's the way to do it. Like, you just have to finesse your way in, because otherwise you just
that's a tip for the people, because they probably still do it. I don't even know. Do they still do that shit on Twitter? Or,
I don't know, but
I'm
it
sure.
sounds like a tip.
Yeah.
No. That's a hack, because like people would always wonder how to get into events, and there's always things. If you follow certain people on Twitter, they're promoting the fact that if you register with them, they'll get you a free pass. And so that's what I was doing. I didn't have enough money to buy all that shit. The hell no. It's too expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's like,
it's
hundreds
like
of dollars.
Yeah, it's like $1,200 or something.
So you guys drove down together?
We all rode together in a car.
Stayed together?
We stayed in a grimy ass hotel, outside of where we needed to be, and we walked around, and I experienced Fader Fort for the first time.
That's a good one.
Who was playing?
Travis.
Wow.
Before Travis blew up.
Yeah.
And he's on Fader Fort, so like
that's a tough door too. It's a really popular event down there.
No, it was. But the thing, it was just starting to like catch that wave.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it, So when I was there, shit going in there. There's fucking free drinks, goddamn food everywhere. There's fucking beautiful bitches everywhere. It's like, sorry, honey, there was beautiful bitches everywhere.
7 years.
But,
7 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyways, I got to experience some really cool artists on that stage, and after that, that was the first time I think I really saw concerts in the way that like I would want to see them.
Did you have a camera on your hip or anything, or?
I did have my camera. I saw Nipsey Hussle there. He was walking around. That was cool. And we took a picture with him. I got a couple other artists, but really I wasn't really thinking about. I was taking photos. I wasn't taking video. At the time I love photography, but I don't ever put my photography work out there because it's like a personal thing. So I just take photos and like save them for myself and shit like that.
That's dope.
But at the time, I was just taking a lot of photos, like landscape, street photography and shit like that. Just,
Valencia,
exactly,
Tokyo, Cupertino.
Like what iPhone do I
XL
got
Pro
right now?
2.
No, at the time, I think I upgraded. I had a 5D at that point, so I was taking some crispy photos.
Yeah,
and shit like that, coming away with it, and then still putting the filters on it. Nah, I was joking. I would
Putting the
never
double
do that.
filter and then like it all like gets fucked up.
Double filter vignette and a blur on the edges.
See,
What the fuck am I looking at? I don't even know anymore. It's like, so yeah, no, we were down there, and because of that one, the first time, every year after that, I wanted to go, you know, and so the next year, I went down there, and I ended up running. I was with an artist shooting a music video, and I decided to just wander because they were sleeping in. So I just wandered by myself, and a guy was, you know, people were like outside their buildings saying, "Hey, come and watch, come and watch."
Oh yeah.
They there's a bunch of like hustlers out there and shit. So this guy was like, "Hey, come watch Dinero Ferrar, double XL, you know, a nominee. He's playing, blah blah blah." And so I just heard the double XL.
Yeah.
And again, I'm pretty new into like experiencing that culture, so I was like, okay, let me go see what that is. And so I go inside, and it's kind of a small crowd, and maybe like 50 people.
Wait, not to cut you off, but the artist that you're working with is sleeping in, and it is clearly like, I don't know, like 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was probably like 2, 3 p.m. or something like that. They're still sleeping in. I mean, you know, they fucking get fucked up. They go to strip clubs. They turn up when they go.
Yeah, I just wanted to paint the picture.
Yeah, exactly. So
this wasn't like a 7 a.m. like walk around the lake.
No, in South by Southwest it ain't cracking at that time. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely in the afternoon. So I'm walking there, and as I go into it, like Lil Debbie plays. That's the first time I saw her. And then I seen Dinero. He was the headliner. So when he came in, he had brought in Baby Jesus, DaBaby.
Yeah.
And so he let him open up for him, and he played his song Baby Jesus, and which goes like, "I think I'm Baby Jesus." You know, that's like the whole hook. And they were going crazy. The song was fire, but when they got off stage, Dinero got done performing and everything. Dinero jetted out. I try to run after him. I'm just like, yo, and I'm trying to get him my card.
Yeah.
We still had cards at the time, people.
Yeah.
We still had business cards. What the fuck?
It was a different time.
It was like a difficult thing to make business cards too. Cause you're like, how the fuck can I not make a shitty business card? Like
on like the saddest piece of paper.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
just like, what kind of material do I need to use?
Are you cutting them out yourself too?
Nah, I did.
Yeah.
I think Vistaprint was still around at the time. So like
Vistaprint.
Vistaprint gets everybody. They're like, yeah, it is cheap. I can get 500 of these bitches. And so you get them. You're like, damn, I still got 500 of these bitches.
You're
You
like,
know?
I got 3 college degrees and I can't make a business card.
Exactly. So anyways, I go up to I see Baby Jesus. I don't know who he is, so I just go up to him like, hey, are you the? I was like, hey, do you know Dinero, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, you're his manager, and and he's like, I was like, can you give him my card? And he goes, oh no. And I was like, I'm not his manager. He's like, I'm an artist too. So I was like, oh okay, bet. And he was like, yeah, I opened up for him. That was my song, Baby Jesus. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, I thought I was his. And he was like, nah, it's mine. And so I give him my card.
Do you know
Like,
how
"Oh, check my
concerts
card."
work?
Nah, I don't. It's the thing. I was so new to the experience of concerts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Manhattan, Kansas. They call me homeboy. I never went anywhere. I'm telling you. I played video games.
I feel like there were concerts every night in Manhattan, Kansas.
The thing is that no. It's a small ass town. There ain't no concerts there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for many years, I'm just watching all the hip hop that I'm involved in. Which I forgot to say, I'm a DJ too. So like,
Well, everybody's a DJ
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
But yeah, very cool brag.
I was
though.
on tables. I
Oh,
did
you
chop
had-
and screw music.
Okay.
Wow.
I made mixtapes. If you
Wow.
if you Google DJ Rico slowing down your trunk, you'll find like a bunch of mixtapes.
Yo, everything that you're saying is gonna go so viral
I
now.
know, yeah.
Seriously, like, and at the time I had a viral following, and people were even saying much respect to Michael Watts, but people were saying like, I love your music just as much as Michael Watts,
Wow.
or Ron C,
Whoa.
and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, that's dope, you know. So I had a following, but I wasn't making any money off of making mixtapes and putting it online. But I was stupid. I didn't connect the dots that I could have just taken the networking that I was doing via online and
then like
transferred
put it
over.
into a real space. Yeah.
Oh my God, I was stupid. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. So when you met Baby, you could have been like, "Hey, I shoot videos
And I DJ.
and I DJ."
Yeah.
And I can make you business cards.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I didn't think a lot of people like chopping screw music, you know? So, like, I never really talked to them about this shit until they
You really were a
mentioned it.
homeboy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would just chop it up and I'd put it out online. It would get thousands of downloads, and I had MySpace and everything, you know? So...
By the way, imagine explaining that to your parents, and you're like, "So I take the song,
Exactly.
and I chop it, but not slop it."
but I slow it way the fuck down so you could hear every
yeah,
word.
yeah.
You know, so it's like shit like that. But Baby just gave me a CD, and I drove home, right? Put it in the car, played it all the way through, and then I hit him up on Twitter, and I was like, "Bro, this is fire. You know, let's stay connected." And then De Niro, I reached out to him a lot, and De Niro actually reached back out first, and he was like, he seen my work, seen my reel at the time, and he was like, yeah, come through, you know, and I'm surprised. He called me right away. I got this number from North Carolina coming on my phone, and again, I'm nervous because I'm like, this is the first, in my mind, he's like the biggest artist I've ever seen, like ever talked to.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like really nervous to talk to him. So I get the phone, he's like, yo. What up? I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to that? You know, I'm like, oh shit, man, just chilling. I was like, you got my you got my email? He's like, yeah, that shit is raw. You know, he's like, so what's up? You trying to do some work? And then I was like, yeah. And he invited me down to Charlotte to come through. I was like, well, if you could just pay for my flight, I'll come and I'll do it for free. Like, I don't care.
So you get there,
Yeah.
and you're all in. Are you filming anything?
Yeah, we filmed a music video. We filmed "So Long" was the first. "So Long" and "Same Old Shit" is a video that's on the internet right now, and that was the first project I ever did with him, and it has Baby Jesus in it actually. So he was a part of that video, and that was the first time he got to see my work. So that was really dope.
So were you thinking that this could be something long term, or was this like, hey,
With
I
De
like the
Niro?
opportunity, and
Yeah,
I'll
with De
go
Niro.
down there and I'll just shoot a couple
No,
videos, and then
I'm
back to Kansas City and I'll shoot somebody else.
No, my hope was that I would impress him enough to where he wanted to keep working with me and keep like growing. And then outside of that, you know, hoping that other people see it too. Like just, hey, this is what I do. But my intention was to impress him first. It wasn't like to get more work from other people.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just to get him to believe in me.
Because I think what's really special is, and as somebody who's been, given like tons of CDs, right? Like I don't listen to every one. That you made that trip back from,
Yeah, from Texas to Kansas.
listening to his music, giving him a shot, and then making that overture to him is rare.
Right.
So I think that's dope that you made that leap of faith and gave him a shot, and then he gave you a shot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I listened to all his stuff. I could get it all on Apple Music, so I was just like downloading all of them, and I think you had to pay for them then. So I just like bought all his shit and just like listened to it, and then anything that wasn't on there, I went and streamed and listened to a lot of it. And I was like, dude, this guy's amazing. Like, how the fuck is he not blown up? You know, and I was like, and I watched his videos. I'm like, shit, the only thing he needs is his videos just need to improve.
So you're really like, I could add something to what
Right.
he's already doing.
Exactly. And so I was like, I knew that my talent could help tell his story better. And I was like, I think that's important. So after that first one, he saw it, like he knew. And so we just kept working together.
But at the same time, I imagine you have to have some other income coming in.
Yeah, so that's like where my wife, I felt like really helped me out. She believed in, we didn't make a lot of money, and she made just enough to pay for the bills. I made just enough to feel depressed. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like making no money at all. Like, and I really invested my time into people and individuals, and the fact that she even understood that was like crazy.
Amazing.
You know, so I would say that the money that I would bring in, I, like you guys, put all back into myself. I bought the cameras. I would always pay for my trips. I would just go anywhere I could. I spent all my money just on myself, like investing into it, obviously paying for bills and stuff but beyond that is like, I didn't keep any of the money.
Yeah. So, when do you and Baby really start like working together in earnest?
So Light Show, I want to say it's 2016. Let me check. Hold up. Give me 2 seconds. I hate this. My brain. I hate getting the things wrong. But basically, Baby, I'm looking up on YouTube right now. Light Show. That is like my favorite one. I swear to God. Like
to this day.
It's one of those things that like I remember what I felt when I was there. So the memory is more important than the video itself to me, you know. And he had hit me up like forever. I was turning him down to work with De Niro for a long time just because I really wanted to focus on De Niro and develop that relationship more than just like all of a sudden start working with a bunch of people in the city. I respected him in the fact that like, hey, I'm not trying to come to your city, use you as a person to get clout, to go work with other people in your city just to make money.
Yeah.
I've never been that
You wanted
type of
that real
person.
relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to think I was just using him. And so I definitely gave back to him for many years. And I still talk to De Niro, and we still have a good time. I shot a video from like in November. So that, let's see. So May 10, 2016 is when Light Show came out. So we had a shot that probably in March or something like that, you know, down in Miami. So he hit me up with Light Show. When I heard Light Show, I was like, oh my God, this is like a hit. And I was always excited to work with them. I wanted to do Baby Jesus, that song. Forever I was visualizing a video for it, but we just never were able to make it. You know, so
what was the concept for it?
I really wanted him to walk on water. He has but you know, I probably couldn't have made that happen because like I was starting out. But really, it was just depicting his words.
Yeah.
You know, like because he's talking about Baby Jesus. So it wasn't gonna be funny though. It wasn't gonna be like a comedy. It would have been more like serious type shit.
Something your high school, you know, teachers could have been proud of.
Oh shit, they'd be disappointed in me. But the Light Show, we met up in Miami. He had his whole crew. He had like fucking, I want to say like 18 people with him. And me and two of the real goats, my brother and another one that doesn't work with us anymore. We all went down there and got up. I told him like, man, you got to be up at 6:30 in the morning because I want to get the sunrise. He was late, but he was on time at the same time because I was out there.
Because he got there for sundown.
Exactly. Yeah. He got there for sundown. He showed up at fucking 5:30 p.m.
The magic hour.
Exactly. He's like, oh shit, I thought you said 5:30 p.m. Yeah, bro. No, he showed up and we started taking photography. It was the first time that I got to start shooting him, and so I was trying to figure out how to shoot him. And then we had a lot of beautiful moments in that video. We end up saying, okay, let's go back to the Airbnb that you're staying at. And he rented an Airbnb that was super beautiful, but your guest list was like 6 or 7. And again,
but they don't know.
He had like 18. No, see, here's the thing. They fucking know when you have like 18 people in your house. You can get away with like 10.
Yeah.
You know, like when there's 18, 20 people in their fucking house staying there, like they know. And I think they had cameras in that house too. So they seen all these people coming in and out of the house and shit like that.
By the way, you grew up in a house where there were 9 siblings.
Exactly.
You're like, 18's nothing.
Exactly. No, seriously. Like, that shit don't bother me. I can live, like.
Yes, but you're not the Airbnb owner.
It's true. It's true. And it was a really nice fucking house, so they were probably super pissed. I remember getting a call. We went to Walmart to go pick up food. So all of us, baby, everybody. We all went to Walmart to go pick up food for the weekend because we're going to be there for 2 days. And then all of a sudden, he gets a call while we're in Walmart, and the owner's like, fucking furious. Like, no, you can't have this many people in our house. You guys got to get out. And we're like, well, shit. He tried to explain to her. He was honest with her. Hey, we're doing music videos.
That doesn't make it better. But that actually makes it worse.
No, it's true. Like, they don't want to hear that you're shooting a music video in their house fucking after the fact, you know. But they were. He was saying that he's really good about explaining himself properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so. He did that, and then she gave us till like 7 to get out or something like that.
Wow.
So,
he turned water into wine.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we ran back. We had all this food that we just bought. It was like $500 or something like that of food. He had a whole case of Hennessy that he had bought. You know, again, it's for the whole weekend, not for one
a few
day,
hours.
one afternoon barbecue.
It's not like James is a problem.
Exactly. So we get back, we hurry up, start setting everything up, and we start shooting Light Show. We get that one done in like 3 hours, and we had maybe 2 hours left to shoot one more video. So we shot this other one called Safe Sex, which is out on the internet too, and it had I want to say it was 2 or 3 strippers. I think it was 2 strippers that came through, and a swimming pool full of condoms. We put a bunch of condoms in the pool, and then we went up to their master bathroom and got freaky in there and got 2 videos in like a few hours, you know. That evening when we left, we were like, we need one more scene for light show. So we go in this cul-de-sac, we start shooting it. I'm like, this is perfect. That's all we need right here. Just huddle up, and the sun's going down. So I have them like take out their cell phones and shine them on him and stuff like that. I start shooting them, and then we get 2, 3 takes maybe, and the cops come, right? We're like trying to hurry to get out of there because we know we're like bringing attention to ourselves.
Yeah.
And so the cops come, one cop pulls up. I was like, I'm fucking out. So we just got done with the last take. I get my shit. Our hotel is just like walking distance. And so we walk over there, me, my brother, and his name's JR. We go upstairs and put our shit up. And by the time we look down, there was like 10 cops, right?
Oh.
So then we come downstairs. By the time we're downstairs and see everything, I swear to God, they had this shit taped off. They blocked off the road. Traffic was fucked. And there was no lie. On Twitter, I have this fucking clip of these like 30 cops, Miami PD, out there arresting all these dudes. So there's like 6 of them. But the reason why so many came is because the lady didn't radio, or whoever showed up, the first officer,
Yeah.
the responding officer, didn't radio back. And so they're like freaking out.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
if you don't radio back, then
Right.
there's probably
Yeah,
an issue. You know?
It's sort of like when you quit your construction job and you don't let the people know.
Hey Jay, where the fuck are you? We got snow to shovel, you goddamn bastard. So because of that, they all got arrested. Cameraman got arrested. Like they lost footage, all sorts of shit. But that was the first experience. I was like, well, fuck. I guess the video shoot's over. I was like, shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the illegal part in all that?
I think there was nothing really illegal that we were doing. You know,
Yeah.
we were in a cul-de-sac. Nobody
That's what
was
I'm
even
saying.
going in
So
there.
when you were talking about like traffic, I was like, there is no traffic.
There was no
in the
traffic.
cul-de-sac.
Like, it was just some fucking grumpy person walking by saying these guys are being like fucking yelling. They probably thought people were fighting or some
Fuck.
shit. You
and
know,
then
like-
because of like the officer not responding, it's just like and the trouble of all these officers showing up. And it's like, well, then we better get
and
something.
then on their end, they're frustrated at the fact that they're getting arrested for something they feel like they're not even fucking doing.
Right.
You
I
know what I'm
bet.
saying? Like, so
I bet.
So because of that, they're irritated and they're like, no, like what are we don't got to do anything. We didn't do anything wrong. And then they start kind of fucking with them and shit like that.
To go back for a second, so I know that you said that you had this this worry on your end about going from De Niro to Baby,
To Baby.
Or to any other Charlotte artist.
Right. So
Did either of them feel the same way or no?
I think every artist is going to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like if they have a connection to you and you want to go work with someone else, they feel slighted in a sense, I think. And I hate that feeling. I don't want them to think like that because I'm an honest person. I would tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, hey, I want to go work with this person because I think they're cool. I like their music. And Baby already knows that, like for me and De Niro at the time didn't know, but like, man, I love your music type shit. Like, so I'm going to always be here.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go anywhere unless you want me to go somewhere. And I always ask what you want, because I think it's important that they understand that I'm giving myself to them. I'm not trying to use them. So I think there's always that confusion. I can't speak for them and like how they actually felt, but I hope that they understood for sure.
You film those videos down in Miami, and the one with the strippers. There's an extra like level of like griminess or fun to it, and it's just different. Do you feel like you guys really hit on something with that?
I think that was the first experience of like, because it popped off, it went crazy. Like for him, it went crazy. The first video that went like nuts, and I didn't know that. Again, like I don't know everything about the artist, right? So I don't know if that's new for them to go crazy like that or how they got those views. I don't know what went down in that, if they had to help with marketing or where that came from. But the fact that it did get views, I was like, damn, that's dope. Like I love the fact that he got a lot of love because that song's big.
Yeah.
And
but does it allow you to like push yourself creatively in a new direction?
For so many years I was trying to figure out what I did in that video to make it feel that way, and I feel like, swear to God, this year I figured it out.
Yeah.
Like I literally, like I would go back to it. Even this year, I was like, what is it about that video that I love?
It's all the Hennessy.
Yeah, it's all the Hennessy, all the fucking Hennessy, all the weed smoking. That's what it is. No, I think it was the energy. You know, like we had this connection, and it's like you have to be connected to the artist that you're shooting. And I think that's important. If you don't give a fuck about their music, then you're not going to shoot them well.
Right. Well, and I think that translates to other videos you've done. The one with Offset, like the energy in that video was palpable.
Right. No, I had a good time with that. That was a lot of pressure too, because I think we had an hour with Offset. You know, so
I mean,
that's one of those deals that like the importance of being connected to your artistry and your talent is so vital when it comes to being under pressure. Like being able to just slow down and think, you know, and connect and say, I know where you're going and I'm going to go with you.
Yeah.
And then move the camera in the way that makes sense with them, you know. And I always feel like if you can't do that, you only need 1 or 2 takes if you could do that.
Yeah.
You need 10 takes if you can't connect.
So,
or if the third stripper doesn't show up.
Or if the fourth stripper has 3 boobs, you got to get an extra take just to get that extra boob.
but sometimes, like, you know, planning things out and having like every it's not going to work out that way.
It can't. I don't think it works out that way. I don't think. I mean, like as I discover more and more about like being around film, like I've done 7. I've been a part of 7 features. I've done countless short films and hundreds of music videos. So every time, like, your plan doesn't go the way that you want it to go.
When we were doing sketches, we did one with Max B, right? Where we played Scrabble with him at his apartment up in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. And so we would use words that were not exactly...
like we were putting like ow,
traditional
but like
Scrabble.
flipping all the M's into W's, and it was like, you know, 17 letters or whatever. And he'd be like, you know, that
you guys
kind
are
of
some
loud.
smart motherfuckers.
Thank you very much. But that video... He was not looking to do the entire scripted thing, cut us off about halfway and asked us to leave, and we said, okay. And then knowing that we had a deadline to put up this video, by the way, self-imposed deadline, of Monday morning, we had only mere hours to go back and flip the script literally and actually create something brand new where we took our roommates' bed sheets and put them up on the wall because
we woke her up and
that would match what the color of that matched what it looked like in Max's apartment, and you rewrite the whole thing. And the experience of doing that and staying up all night, not a fun one,
right?
But it was probably our most recognized thing for a really long time.
Yeah, so many people would be like, "Oh, that's the one that I love," and it's like, man, if you really knew how much we hated the process of that.
But see, I discovered that this year. Like when I think we were in Hawaii shooting intro. I was just like, one morning, on day 2, I was so frustrated with day 1, and I was like, why has it got to be so fucking hard, And it just like hit me. I was like, it's supposed to be hard. Like it's not supposed to be easy. Even when you get what you want, it's still going to be fucking hard to keep getting more, and it's going to be hard to maintain it. It shouldn't be easier, like, because what it took to get there was hard. You know what I'm saying? So that energy, that love that you put into something, I think just like somehow attaches itself to that product you're trying to develop.
I love that intro video, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to know who came up with the idea to have him run like high step and...
Bruh, like that's what I'm telling you. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you got to be connected with both yourself and the artist has to be connected with you, because we were shooting it and I try not to pick up the camera too much anymore because I want to direct, but I was shooting that with the Ronin and it was a difference. The person shooting it before me doesn't know him. So we get that take and he goes, bro, I was like, I want you to shoot one. I was like, all right. So I grabbed the camera. That first take, we get that, you know what I'm saying? So like we ran the whole song. Yeah. It's just like looking at angles and experiencing the space. And then all of a sudden I seen him do it on one take. So I cheated it and edit. The first time he did it, I was too close to him. And I was like, oh shit, this is dope. And so I pulled all the way back. I was like, do it again. I was like, come on. And then he does it. And it so happens the gimbal just snaps because it has that like kind of wobble thing.
Yeah.
But the gimbal does that. Usually I wouldn't use that in the edit, but it felt so fun to see it just snap into place and go along with him. So it was one of those deals that it was the perfect moment. And if I would have captured it a little differently, you wouldn't have seen it though.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a combination of both us and me and him just being connected.
And I'm sure you listened to that song a whole bunch before you even.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that goes into that, obviously, like the message and the feeling, but then when it really does like shift, I feel like that move helps it, achieve what you want.
Yeah, no, I think that that video and that song, bro, I'm telling you, I'm not even lying. Like when I first heard that song, I knew what he had been through this whole year, and so when he was making it when we were in on the cruise. I don't know if you guys seen. He was on this cruise with this year. He had a cruise show the first time he did it, and we ended up going down to where were we at? It doesn't matter. We left out of Miami, and we went on a cruise. So
you're on the high seas,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's on the only cruise he did this year, and the first cruise he ever did. And he's one of these people that records everywhere he goes. Everywhere he fucking goes, he fucking records. He's like a monster, psychotic freak rapper, he's over there recording it in his room, and it was so funny. The first night he was recording, there was a lot of people. He usually doesn't let anybody in his room, but he had some people in the room. He had like Zoe Dollars in there and some other people, some of his people, and I could tell he was trying to record it, but the people in the room didn't realize what he was doing, and so he like stopped. He made a conscious effort to not continue to write, and they all left the room next day. That morning, we're supposed to be off the boat and going to the plane. He's one of these people that just like is so fucking focused that he's not going to leave until he gets what he has in his thoughts out, and he made like the first verse and the hook.
Wow.
Before he left.
Wow.
And I'm like sitting there listening to it. We're like, oh shit, this is crazy. And he ends up finishing it. I hear it. And then as we're approaching, like, hey, what videos are going to shoot? I didn't want to listen to that song because I knew like how crazy emotional it was for him. Yeah. So for many times, for many weeks, I didn't listen to it because I was like, I know once I listen to it, I'm going to get emotional.
Yeah.
So as I started listening to it finally, man, I was in the gym. I turned it on. I swear to God, I started crying a little bit because it reminded me of my family and my dad, and it reminded me of like all the shit that I had to go through, and it reminded me of the shit that he had to go through, and I could hear it. I'm just like, oh my God, like he's so honest, and I know who he is as a person and as a friend. I was like super emotional about it. So for many times, I was like, every time I listened to it thinking of ideas, it was hard for me to listen to it and to think of ideas. I just knew that it just needed to be beautiful. So after I got used to hearing the song, we started thinking of things. We knew we were going to Hawaii, and we're like, fuck, we got to shoot a video there, right? We have to shoot a video in Hawaii because we're going to be there for a week. And while producing the shit, like I remember the first time I played the song in Hawaii, I cried again because I was like, oh my God, I feel it again. And as we got this production company in town to help us scout and everything and like find all the logistics, we're shooting, and it's just not going the way that I want it in terms of like I see something and I want to get it out. But for some reason, again, this idea that we're putting this hard effort into getting what we want, it develops on its own, and it becomes something that I wasn't originally seeing, but it has that same feeling, that same emotional tone that we wanted.
Arnold, who works with Baby.
Yeah, Arnold's his manager. Shout out Arnold Taylor.
Is
SCMG.
Is known through the business as like one of the best guys to push radio stuff.
Oh man, he's a fucking monster.
And everybody who's down in like, Charlotte and like,
the Carolinas and everything. He's that guy.
Yeah.
And he's championed Baby for the longest. Mm-hmm. And a lot of labels, while they took Arnold seriously, may not have taken Baby seriously.
Right.
In those years where, all right, it's looking great, and he's doing the Rock Nation thing, and then it wasn't looking so great when he wasn't on Rock Nation, and then he gets signed to Interscope. How do you ride that roller coaster? Because this is somebody who, when you first listened to his CD on the way back from Texas,
he wasn't with Arnold at the time.
But you were like, this guy deserves to be a superstar. Right. Why is he not yet?
Right.
So when you're going through all the label stuff, are you still thinking that, and how do you react?
With Arnold Taylor being involved, is that what you're saying?
Just with
watching him,
with watching Baby, who deserves to be
his trajectory. Yeah. Like there's a lot of stuff to ride through.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it was crazy to see him with like I think it was like 2,000 followers or something that he had maybe when I first saw him. But to see him go from where he needs his music to be out there to someone and a label to like SCMG to support him like that was crazy because I could see a major difference. Like once he started repping them, and talk about it. I didn't know where it came from because we weren't that close at that early in our stage to talk about other things outside of videos.
Right.
We were always I'd only talk to him about videos and, how are you doing, that kind of shit. So when we got together, it was always just like about videos and that was it. But to see like him get more love, I was like always curious like how it was happening, like damn, that's dope that he's getting more views, getting more listens and all this stuff and people are fucking with him. He did like this crazy high school tour at one point in his career and I was like, dude, he's doing everything to making sure his music gets out there. So I was like, at the time I questioned when he first did the high school stuff. I was like, why is he doing high school stuff? And then as I saw it and I kept seeing it develop, I was like, dude, this dude's a fucking genius. Like it was something that he was going to do anything he could to make sure it was there. And SEMG allowed him to do a lot of those things, or connecting with shows that like he normally probably couldn't find on his own. So that was sick.
When did you become like officially, because like now you're like really traveling with him and like you guys are a unit.
I think we were always connected as individuals since 2016 of just like talking to each other. At one point when I moved to LA, we got disconnected for like probably a year.
He started shooting videos with some other people.
With the Fly family and stuff like that. They started doing stuff in there. And I think that it was one of these things that like we always would try, hey, you want to do the song? And I'd be like, oh, I don't have the time, or our schedule wouldn't connect, but it was always something that I felt like every month or so we would connect in some way, maybe 8 weeks. He'd probably try. I think he was blowing up my phone like crazy, trying to get me to do records. And I was always doing filmmaking shit in LA.
Yeah.
Doing all my focus on my craft. And I think I would never give that back because the focus that I did on filmmaking is like what's making me be and do the things that I'm doing.
Right.
And I had to go through that process to even be a better person. So like officially we started to work together really this year. Like he had offered a couple of times last year if we wanted to do some stuff, and I just didn't have the time because of the stuff I was doing. And then the beginning of the year, January, after Walker Texas Ranger, like he came up to me and he was like, hey, you want to get on the road or do you want to come work with us? And I was like, well, what does that mean? Like what does that mean to be a part of your journey?
And how do you explain that to your wife?
Exactly. I was like thinking about it. I went back to my Real Goats and I was like, hey, I want to go on the road with him for like maybe a week and just see what's up, And
that was 7 years ago.
That was 7 years ago. So that's what it feels like for real. Like this year feels like it doesn't feel like 1 year.
Yeah.
And the first weekend that I went with him, it was just shows in Carolinas. And I seen the way that the crowd was reacting to him in the clubs. I saw his energy on stage for the first time, like since that long period of South by Southwest. And I realized, like actually live, I seen it on the internet. I never saw it live.
Yeah.
So when I was there and I was actually filming, I was like, dude, this is what I want to do. Like I want to film this type of person that's going to be this crazy and this animated and this passionate and this hardworking. It was the first time I truly met someone that like worked his ass off, and I always feel like I work hard. And so to see someone outwork me is like motivating.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I got to keep up with this motherfucker. But he respected me so much in the fact that I was so focused on my craft that when I went on the road with him, that's something that like a lot of videographers that don't know what they're doing are doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the job that you get paid. Pay or don't pay some little kid to come film you and get the free work.
Yeah.
And I didn't charge him for the shit. I was just like, nah, I was like, I don't even care about that stuff. It was more about just connecting again. So shit, after that first weekend, we made a couple pieces of content. We knew that like, yeah, we should stick together.
Yeah. You have a lot of tattoos.
I do. I don't have them all out right now.
No, but we can see some of them.
Yeah, you're not shirtless.
Exactly. I'm not shirtless yet.
Are they like tattoos are a very personal thing.
Uh-huh.
So each one, I suppose, has a meaning to itself. Like whether it's,
There's only one tattoo that I fucking regret, and it's this one. Because it's this one on my right hand. It was supposed to be a lens. I had told the guy that I wanted a lens, like an aperture lens.
Yes.
And a goat eye in the middle. But do you see what he did? you're not. You need to keep working on artistry. That's what I'm saying. So like, but I'm cool with it. Like I'm cool with flaws and tattoos, and it's original. Like I don't give a shit.
Well, that's good.
You know, so like one of those things like
because tattoos are forever.
It's like,
Yeah, so it's
I
regret.
I don't really care. You know, yeah, no regrets, no regrets, or whatever. the fuck.
But the one that really stands out to me is that on your left hand it says yeah.
Yeah, it says yeah. With
Which
the
I
mailbox
imagine
on it.
is the Suge ad lib.
Yeah, it's a Suge ad lib.
And how did that come to be? And is it something where you're like, yo, I'm in this forever?
I mean, I think that was one of the things that I wanted to tell him, you know, by getting it, and without telling him, you know what I mean, like, because it's the idea that you're branding yourself a part of someone else's brand, you know, and $1 Billion Baby and Real Goats is something that we always, when we say it, we say both of them, you know, because I believe I'm just a part of it, $1 Billion Baby's movement as much as he believes in Real Goats movement, you know. So as we continue to grow and learn about what our goals are and our achievements and where we're going, like I think it's just gonna keep getting closer and closer. And fuck, man, like it's just so cool. Like yeah, you know, like it's in a font. It's in a font that we use for all of our directed by Real Goats and stuff like that. So that's
which
you want me to give up the font name?
Hell yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'll give the font name just because I know that it's ours and I'm gonna own it. And it's not ours. We didn't create it.
It's Ariel.
No,
That would be so great.
You know what's beautiful about it? It's called All the Way Up to the Sun.
That's great.
And so like I'm always a motivated person, and people around us are positive. Like the term "all the way up to the sun," I just think about like our journey.
Yeah.
You know.
Where'd you find it?
Shit, thefont.com, man. They have everything.
Yeah, no, they really
Shout
do,
out
though.
thefont.com. Fuck, I ain't gonna lie about that shit. What the fuck? Everybody Google that shit.
When Interscope came into the picture,
what I want to see happen, though, is people use All the Way Up to the Sun and get tattoos with their names or with whatever they want, you know.
How did you go from like literally 15 seconds ago? You were like, I don't want anybody to know this thing. And now you're like, find it on defont.com.
No,
get it tattooed on you.
Because I'm going to own it. If I'm going to say it, I'm going to own it. Go get the tattoo and fucking tag us. It's the real and Real Goats and we're gonna fucking retweet it.
So Interscope comes into the picture, right? And is there a difference between doing it on your own and doing it with a major label backing?
So yeah, in 2008,
either in funding or in like in terms of like how many chefs are in the kitchen.
Yeah, how many emails you're getting that just say no.
Well, I'm trying to be better. How I explain this.
Yes.
I think that the labels is something. It's great to have the networking and resources that they provide to know that that we can get them at any time. At this moment, we've been able to just focus on our own. You know what I mean? And just like really put in the time and produce. When it says directed by Real Goats, it's directed by Real Goats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Baby, in my opinion, is a part of that. So in terms of creative, we always have full creative.
That's awesome.
You know? And then in terms of funding, Baby's different. I'll just say that.
I think there's something too about people really decried the end of the MTV era in terms of music videos. You're not going to get a quote unquote big budget like you did with Hype Williams or Director X or any of those guys, right? Mick G.
Yeah.
I think
Shouts
that
to Mick G.
it was a just like the music industry too. You have this like.
It goes in waves.
Well, you have this period too where you have to figure things out, and eventually things were gonna rise up once more. And I'm gonna be very honest. I was thinking about this last night. While there's been many music videos and many music video directors in the last 10 years, you're the first crew that I really feel has made a substantial impact to change the game. You know, I
appreciate that.
It feels like that era that no longer exists anymore, but you're doing it with modern ways,
right?
And that feels really cool,
right?
Do you also sense that?
I think I sense it because people tell me, you know what I mean? So like, I think that the whole time and all of my videos, even back in De Niro days, if I were to do a video like I did with De Niro with Baby, like people would lose their minds. So like, I think it was always this initiative of being original, innovative, like the word to innovate, and create. I say that on all my treatments, innovate and create. And it's just something that, like, if you want to copy other people, you can. Like, fuck, I'm saying you can, but you ain't gonna go anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could copy the sauce. You want to steal our sauce? Steal the fucking sauce. But I guarantee we'll outwork you, and I guarantee we'll believe ourselves more, and I guarantee we'll go further than you because you don't have any fucking original ideas. Like, we have the fucking ideas. You know what I mean? And we believe in us. Defont.com. Yeah. Go download it now. So, but you know, it's like anybody that has a passion. They believe that they're the best.
Yeah.
Right. And so, if you are the best, you can take inspiration from people. You can be inspired by people, but you shouldn't steal from people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should create your own voice.
Who are you looking forward to working with?
You know, this coming year, I think I'm going to work a lot with Rico Nasty. I just want to I want to get into more female artists, you know?
Sure.
And she's somebody that I really think is fucking underrated like a motherfucker, even though she, like, a lot of people know about her. She's still, I feel like, needs that love that she deserves.
A lot of energy.
Mm-hmm. She's crazy, man. Like, she's crazy. She's wild. She's out there. She goes for it.
Rico did it. Yeah.
Rico did it. Rico.
Yo.
You know?
Yes.
Rico. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we've already done one that's out now, hard. And that was the first time we experienced it. And it was, again, one of those moments when we shot it, I could feel like we had something connecting. And she respects me and I respect her. So, and her whole camp. So, but as far as other artists, there's been a lot of people hitting us up recently from Bop, but that shit don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, until it actually happens, I don't really say too much about it. But as far as who I personally would want to work with, I think over time, I would always eventually want to work with, Tyler, the Creator, and ASAP.
Wow.
Yeah. Just like guys who have like very strong creative visions that you could, do some stuff with. Yeah.
Them.
The Suge video was a huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
You did that in, again, like, smaller circumstances and
For people.
Yeah, and more interesting, untraditional setups, right?
Right.
Like, you made it happen improv where you
Right,
could.
exactly.
You do a video like Bop, which is, on the Paramount lot. It is with, I'm sure, a ton
Of people
there.
Yeah,
Not just like
probably
on...
like 150, 160 people.
Yeah, so you've shown you can do both things.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more comfortable in one than the other? And do you like being uncomfortable when you shoot?
So the first question, I would say it just depends on the song. Some, like Rico Nasty's one, we were just 3 people. You know what I'm saying? Like, the hard one, it goes back to like...
Was it the one that was in the hotel room?
Yeah, it was a hotel. But I was only 3 people. I mean, it was something that, like, I just wanted to shoot something fun with her. It was last minute in the sense that we found a window to do something like a week before, and we were like, okay, let's just go at it. So I like that in the intimacy of being able to talk to the person. The first time I work with you, I want to be able to like actually get to know you. I don't want to just like, okay, here we go stand over here, do this. Cause that's so fucking cold. Like, I've been a part of sets where it's like that and I fucking hate it, especially when it's a 70, 60 person set. Like that, it's terrible to have never known the artist because they're just gonna look at you crazy if they don't trust you, type shit.
Yeah,
and if they don't believe in what you were trying to do, they want to go home. So I think the 100+ people set, it's as long as everyone's on the same page, it's fun to do.
Yeah.
But when people are disconnected or they don't believe in it or people are being a certain way, then no, it's not fun at all to be on those big sets when no one likes to be on them. Yeah, when people are not motivated to be there, that kind of shit. So it just depends on the vibe that you're going for. But overall, I would say I have fun on both for their own reasons. I think the big sets is something I'm going to keep doing. I want to keep experiencing because eventually it'll be feature film. And
it's been truly exciting to watch what you guys have done, and that the sky really is the limit for you guys ahead is just...
crazy.
It's the best.
It is really, really cool because you guys look like you're having so much fun. It feels like you guys are having so much fun, and that's going to create something that we can't even imagine today. For you yourself to go from Wichita, Kansas, and working a construction job with making
no money.
Yeah, no money and planting sewer pipes, man.
Yeah.
And thinking that this might be a pipe dream to actually making it a reality is pretty special. So
yeah, I mean, I think I don't know what is it about. At the time, again, I didn't ever think I would be shooting anything in LA, didn't ever think I would live in LA, but that was the mentality that I had to grow out of. And so like over the years and seeing myself accomplish stuff, one of the feature films I did was in Bangladesh. So I traveled over there for 60 days. And so to see myself accomplish a lot and then motivate others, I have to reflect on that. When I'm doing it, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have to reflect on it and realize what I'm doing. And it's just more about trusting in yourself to get out of any situation that comes your way, even if it's not in your favor.
Yeah. Well, listen, it was never just you walking. Mm-hmm. There was that second set of footprints in the sand. Mm-hmm. Baby Jesus.
Wow. Wow.
Yo, congratulations on everything. Thanks so much for coming up here, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to this new episode of A Waste of Time with It's The Real. If you want to find out more about us, I'm Eric with the curly hair. That's Jeff with the glasses. Together, we are It's The Real, no apostrophe, no spaces. If people want to find out more about this podcast, it's called The Waste of Time with It's The Real, and we are in the middle of the 12 Days of Podcast, our 4th annual run of 12 podcasts in 12 days. If people want to find out more about what's going on with us, where can they go?
You can always go to ItsTheReal.com, ItsTheReal.com/shop for all of our merch, ItsTheReal.com just regular for the newsletter, It's The Real on Twitter, It's The Real on Instagram. We make things very easy.
Jeff, the easiest thing that people can do is get a shout out from us, and this is where we do them. And so I said to the internet today, I said, hey, DaBaby is known for his ad-lib, yeah. And I wanted to know, if people wanted to shout out what their favorite ad-lib in rap is. What do the people have to say?
Okay, well I know it's a great question.
Yes.
But you're really putting me in a jam, a real pickle.
Yeah.
Because you want me to read these,
yes.
And so I have to now redo them, which is never going to sound good.
But what if you just read it just flat?
No, because now everybody's going to be like, oh, you didn't even try. So now, again, I'm in a real jam and a real pickle. Oh. It's a real jickle.
Are you going to do it with an accent then, maybe?
Oh, an accent.
No, see now, yeah. Jeff brightened up.
No, this is an even harder thing.
You see the light bulb go off over his head.
I don't know what to do. I just want to shout out people.
You see the motor running in his...
No, this is not like my opportunity to get found, to get discovered. Shout out to Mike902, who said literally any of OJ the Juice Man's hey or okay. Brian Hasty, who said yuck.
I think those are great so far.
Well, no, they're not. I'm not doing good.
I think that they're quality.
Everybody out there is unsubscribing right now.
They can vote.
Flight Club 1985 said Juicy J's breathing. The Real G Black said Mama by Offset. Max No Po said Pusha T's yuck, tied with Jada's Chase the Fake said all Playboy Cardi's slide whistle noises. I can't read. Straight Razor Fresh said Master P. Best ad-lib gotta be a West Side Gun. Boom, 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 boom. Skip from BK said Jeezy's
These are great. I have to say, Jeff, I think you just wanted to lower the bar so the expectations were nil.
Yeah.
And then you just come in and blow everyone out the water.
I think the expectations are still nil.
Here we are.
Halfway through.
Here we are winning.
By the way, we're halfway through. How disappointing is that? Abu Kalbs, our man in London town, said when Cameron said this the alphabet on the Get 'Em Daddy remix. Swerve Music said Uncle Murda's, well, not saying that word, Bang Bang and Whoa. Phantom Beats VA, Dennis down in Virginia, said the best is by the Jigga Man, or I don't know what this is. He just says ha 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 by Khaled or Jeff, depends on who you ask. But that just sounds like Khaled's like exercise, like DJ No Tag said any one of Young Thug's beep beep or whatever it is automatically make the song better. The Real G Black also said 2 Chains. 2 Chains.
No, those are correct.
To change. Ta-chain.
It's so familiar.
2 Chains. Hey, it's 2 Chains, and I'm here to say that's everybody.
What's your favorite?
The the ones I just mentioned? How about
No, what's your favorite?
my favorite is the.
More content like this, Jeff, another week, or as Jeezy would say, 7
days.
As always, guys, now for real, for real.
Sure.
See you guys tomorrow.
The sunset.